lovely people, this is Chandni Singh and welcome back to my channel. And today I've had a lot of requests about foundations. And I know that I've been pretty much stuck on the Lancome Toil Ultra foundations. And now Lancome has been discontinued in India and it was time to move on. And so I've been kind of experimenting with a lot of foundation, specifically in the last about a year I would say. And last year I got my hands on the famous Katvon D full coverage matte foundations. And so when I got this foundation, I had read a lot of reviews that it's not meant for dry skin and it's too cakey and it's too much and so on and so forth. And whenever I buy any new makeup, I first always buy my own color so that I can test it out on myself nicely before I kind of invest into it for my clients and my brides and everyone. So I got myself the shade 54. I'll write my shade details and everything for all those looking for information. So this is what it looks like, and the only very annoying thing about the packaging is this little nozzle, because it's very difficult to kind of fix it back into place, and I also feel that it is something that can be lost easily, so I wish this wasn't there. However, otherwise the packaging is quite nice, typical like a Katvon D packaging, very sturdy, nice and good looking as well. And so the first time when I used these foundations, the first reaction which I had was like, oh my god, that is too dry. And I'm somebody who's got extremely dry skin, so I did not like the feel of it on my skin at all. However, before I form an opinion about any product, I always kind of use it a few times. I try, use it with a certain technique. I look up for information on the net and I kind of use it to see how I can make it work. And yes, so I did the same reviews that it's too dry, it cracks too much, blah blah blah. Until one day I added my favorite Indulge Rose Gold oil into it and applied it on myself. So I'm just going to do the whole thing now and talk about it as well. And so at the moment I have some basic eye makeup and I have very little concealer and corrector on my face. One biggest advantage of this foundation is that it is full coverage, so you can do away with a lot of concealer and corrector. So there you go, I have got like one full pump of this foundation, and if you see, it does not drop down really, like unlike other foundations like Makeup Forever, Lancome, Chanel, it's not runny at all. And again, to repeat myself, I am using the shade 54 medium, and what I always do is, here I am using my Indulge Rose Gold oil, and I just add 2 drops of this oil to it. Now, would I do it if the skin was oily as well? Yes, I will do it. Maybe I'll just add 1 drop, but I will definitely add a drop of oil to it, because I think it just kind of makes the consistency right, and it does not feel as cakey and just kind of goes into every little area of the face with complete ease. And now I am just kind of mixing it perfectly, and I'm just going to dot it all over my face. And now I'm using my Morphe M439 foundation brush, and I'm going to start buffing this into my skin. So I know most people like a lot of concealer application on top of the foundation. However, I always prefer it the other way around. If you feel like doing it the other way around, you can always do that. For the under eyes, I never mix the foundation and oil on my under eyes. I take a dot separately of the foundation and apply it there. And at any point, if I have any extra foundation left, I always just apply it in the highlight area of my face. The highlight area of the face is always the center of the face. And now I'm just gonna blend it out with my beauty blender. So if you really look right now, my foundation looks matte, but at the same time there is a certain amount of dewiness to it, and that dewiness is because of the indulgent rose gold oil. Also, if you have extreme dry skin, you can go ahead and apply a couple of few more drops. I also recommend this foundation for severe acne skin or problem skin. But at the same time, remember, if the acne skin is having medication, that medication dries up the skin further. In that case, make sure you also apply Indulgio on the skin before you start makeup. And yes, I did apply 2 drops of Indulgio rose gold oil to my skin before I applied this on myself, right? And now after I'm done with this, I'm just going to highlight it a bit. The highlighting of the face is optional. You don't have to do it. But there are a lot of people, who keep telling me that, man, you don't teach us, we want to do our foundation like a pro does and everything. So I'm just showing you that if you have to highlight, not just because I have to highlight on top, I am not, because I find this foundation really thick and chalky. I'm going to use something relatively thinner, and I'm using the LA Girl Pro Conceal in a shade called Natural, and I'm just going to apply it on the natural highlights of my face. So as I mentioned, I would easily even skip the highlight point altogether if you don't want to keep it really drastic, right? And right now I've just used the LA Girl on top of it. Why? Because the LA Girl is really thin, and for me, I think Katvon D is a really thick foundation, and I would not want to layer it up any further. Also, I feel that if you have a lot of lines on your under eyes, this is a foundation you should not be applying on your under eyes at all, because definitely will crack a lot, and definitely don't recommend this for very mature skin. Because in mature skin also, if you want to use it, make sure you kind of liberally add a lot of oil to it so that it does not crack with the lines and everything. And there you go. As you see, my foundation's all done. I've kind of just highlighted it now. And in fact, there are a lot of times when I don't like to powder this foundation a lot, because the moment I powder it too much, it kind of looks too chalky, pasty, and it also gives a very harsh look to the face, right? So, though this is not a foundation that I apply every time, but yes, like say if I'm doing some event or something where I'm going to be out all day and I'll not have time to touch my foundation up, yes, this is going to be my go-to foundation, because it does not require any kind of touch-ups. I also feel that for very oily skin, this is a very good foundation. If you're somebody who has problem that your foundation gets eaten away, this is another very good foundation because it really stays put. So right now I'm just going to take some powder, and please note I'm taking loose powder and not compressed powder, because I personally find that compact powders are a lot more in coverage, and the moment you will give this a lot of powder coverage on top, it will look extremely chalky. So the most important area that I set always is my under eye, right? So I'm just going to do that, and I just set it in place, and whatever little powder I have, I'm just going to dab it. And make sure that you have really blended this into your hairline, because this foundation really stands out. Even make sure you have covered every nook and corner of your neck. So in my case, because I am an extreme dry skin and this foundation is kind of drying, I have applied a shimmery blush on myself. However, if you're somebody with oily skin, you can again go ahead and use a shimmery blush on it, because I know a lot of women with oily skin who stay away from a very shimmery blush because they think that it kind of makes the skin look too oily and too shimmery all over. And even in terms of highlight, I go a little over the top. In my case, why? Because I am an extreme dry skin. So I in fact also recommend using a little bit of MAC Fix Plus on it, because I think it just gives me the right amount of shimmeriness, dewiness on my face. So I just do that. So there you go, the verdict is out. Yes, I do like Katvon D foundations. I do like it for my oily skin clients. I also like it when I want full coverage foundation. If my client loves a matte finish, Katvon D is a foundation I want to stick to. However, I'm still going to mix my Indulgent Rose Gold Oil 2 drops into it, maybe 4 drops also if the skin is extremely dry. And even to add dewiness, you can always do that on top of it by using the highlighter the right way. So you can also add a little bit of illuminating spray on the skin to give it that dewiness. And if I had to rate this foundation between 1 and 10, I would easily give it a 9. And the only reason that I'm not giving it that 10 is because of that nozzle right there. And I'm gonna leave all the colors that I own. I only own 4 colors. However, the darkest color I own is still not very dark enough. And I have just ordered a very dark color which should be with me in about a month or so. However, I'm still gonna leave all those details below. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please subscribe now, because I am going to give you the right reviews for every product always.